Die before the real death finds you. It is the most important and crucial point in anyone's spiritual journey. We are surrounded by a belief in what we know and who we are. We believe that we are living a life. We believe that there is life within us and that one day we are going to die. The reality is more far-fetched than this. In reality, we are the life force itself. It is difficult to recognize this for some people because of the preconditioning experiences. But to truly embrace our spiritual journey, we need to let go of all of this. The journey of spiritual awakening begins with the killing of the identity that we've been carrying for so long. It is not an easy state to achieve, but once you get there, it is the most beautiful incident ever. It transforms you into a person who is reborn in this world with clarity of mind, thoughts, and feelings. All the things that we know about life begins from the moment of our birth in this world. As a child is born, a new narrative begins. The child is given attention, care, and love. An environment where the child can be nurtured and conditioned as well. You are given a name, which becomes your identity. And as you begin to grow up, every experience starts to add on to your story. The stories that you hear become a part of you. You are told how to think, act, and behave. Everything is fed into your system. Everything contributes to making up your personality as you reach adulthood. You begin to showcase yourself in a certain way. You begin to express your feelings and emotions accordingly. Everything becomes predetermined according to your personality. All of these things are thought to be the true nature of being. If I ask you right now who you are as a person, you will be giving me an answer based on the desires and experiences of your life. Through those experiences, you might have stored fear towards some things in your mind. You might have stored anxiety to certain situations because of those conditions. We start to identify ourselves with these labels, but these labels do not define us. This can be changed at any particular time. A true change begins when the mind decides to take action. The killing of these labels is not easy because this is what you identify with. It might be a very painful process for some to let go of the past, but the beginning of something new is always a challenge. But once you complete the process, you enter the rebirth phase. The process implies more of letting go of the past and all the baggage that you've been carrying till now. And everything you thought that was true will be changed forever. The process is about breaking into pieces and removing the burden from ourselves. This process is about learning everything from the beginning itself again. The part of unlearning the past seems to be the most difficult for many people. How to unlearn something means to detach yourself from those past events. That attachment seems to be an issue because of our ego. Our ego becomes the enemy of the self. Our one true self, our ego creates the resistance because it doesn't want to let go of the whole possession on our true self. Our ego tells us that these experiences are the sole truth for our existence. If we let these experiences go, there will be no more attachments for the ego to be. Our ego does not want to die. It feels real. It feels to be an actual thing. But if you dive deeper into yourself, you have this mind, your body, your consciousness. You are a combination of all these things. But above all these things, there is the one true self. The self which is the thinker and the true master of this body and mind. It is the sole owner of the physical representation for self. So where does the ego lie? The answer is true and simple. The ego is not a real thing. It is not even a thinker. It doesn't have any right to be in hold of our mind and body. It is an illusion created by our thoughts and sense of being, part of the true self, but not the real owner of the mind and body. The process of rebirth will allow your true self to become the real decision maker, and the ego will simply have to follow. If you will try to kill your ego, that cannot actually happen. It has become a part of your identity, which you will have to let go off. Taking away the power from it, telling it that you are the true master of this mind and body. You need to disassociate yourself from your ego, and it will simply have to follow you and be truly under your control now. When the self will have the power over the mind and body, it will create a state of harmony between the spirit, body, and mind. This death before your real death will be the rebirth of your real true self. This is a revolutionary process for people who have suffered tremendously in their lives, people who are still suffering in their lives. This process allows them to disassociate themselves from the traumatizing experiences and see everything in its true nature. If you ask yourself to question right now, What is it that is left without any judgment and labeling inside you? You won't be finding any answers. These are the moments that have become stories of the mind to portray something as a certain reality. These stories have given rise to a collection of negative feelings. These stories create anxiety, fear, and depression within us. It is through the fear living in those past moments that hold us back from the true realization of ourselves. Let's take the example of fear, as it is the root problem of all the negative emotions. Fear creates anxiety, a sense that creates depression, and all the other negative expressions. Your brain keeps on looking for patterns based on the past experiences. Once you fall in a situation that your brain finds to be similar to any previous event, it starts to alarm you. Pinching and quenching feeling rises in the chest. Fear begins to take over and you get trapped in an illusion of the mind again, even though in reality, if you could detach yourself from this feeling, you could easily see what actually was happening and how you could deal with the situation in a better way. It takes courage to take away the resistance to those thoughts and emotions that are a result of that fear. You need to realize that there is a higher power above you that has the ability to take care of everything for you. Once you submit your negative emotions to the divine source of energy, there is nothing that can ever hold you back. It is the most powerful, most eminent, and loving source of energy, and you are also a part of it. You are in unity with infinity. The only difference between leading a normal life and a spiritually awakened life is the ability to surrender to the divine power. You surrender those negativities and take a step back from the situations to observe. Watching over from a distance to a situation gives you the realization of what actually is happening. Every fear, every negative emotion is just a vibrational energy within you. You have the strength to separate yourself from these attributes. You can control what you feel and what you don't. These are the things within you that need to die for you to be reborn as a person that you truly are. Let your inner self be the true in charge of your thoughts and feelings. Become the owner, the true master of your desired life. Make the decision today that you will walk away from the labels of anxiety from yourself. You are not a person with anxiety. You are not a person who is depressed or sad. The stories that have created you to believe that you have these negative emotions need to be taken away from your shoulders. Submit those stories and labels to the divinity. Those things are no longer your worries. Your inner peace cannot be disrupted. Restore your inner peace. You don't need to acknowledge these negative emotions as your own anymore. Liberate your mind and body from these negative emotions. Let these things die within you. Death is not an easy encounter. Death is painful and excruciating. It might take over you for a few while. The sadness, the grievances of the experiences of your past self might come back to break you, but grievance prepares you for the rebirth. The universe has got your back. Let the grievance come to you. Let everything out of your body. Allow every negative emotion to leave your body. Bid your final goodbye to these emotions. Your time has come to see the reality. It is your time to become boundless and limitless and everything that you are destined to become. You are life itself. This is who you truly are. This will be your rebirth that will break away all the illusions to you and lead you to the reality of this world. The interesting part here is that we all have always assumed ourselves to being we were told that we are. But now when you see it, can you tell me what you were before the world began?